trustees and to explain through the winter all of our regular meetings, and we've had several special meetings to discuss what to do with the heating systems. We've had many problems through the winter. The Estherville United Methodist Church, we have 12 heating systems, 12 heating units, I should say, and 8 air conditioner units. And it's been, needless to say, quite a struggle to keep them all going. So just about every meeting we've had, we've talked about what furnaces aren't working, what needed to be done, what needed to be repaired. Most of the heating systems, the 12 heating systems, are 40 years old. All the air conditioners are 40 years old. And when we go to get them fixed, it's very difficult to get parts. They're getting to the point where they're not able to be fixed anymore. 2 of the furnaces this winter got red tagged by Black Hills Energy and didn't want us to use them. But fortunately enough, we was able to get a contractor in, and he was able to get them going. We got Black Hills Energy back in, and they did approve them to be restarted. But if we had problems again, they were going to red tag them, and we'd never be able to use them again. Several of the heating systems are in that same shape. So at this point, the trustees has made a decision. Of the 12 heating systems, 7 of them need to be changed out. And of the 8 air conditioning units, 5 of them need to be changed out. And so then we went out and we contacted 2 different contractors. We had them come in and look at the systems. We had them look at what it would take to get things going the way it needs to be with some new equipment and fixing up some of the other equipment, because we're only talking about changing 7 of the heating systems. We have 12, but we're talking about changing 7. So we still have some older heating systems. And we're talking about changing 5 of the 8 air conditioners. And so we got the contractors in, and we received bids from them. We reviewed the bids, and we came up with a decision, and we chose a contractor to do the change-out. And with that change-out, there's, as I said, there's 7 heating systems and 5 air conditioners. The new equipment will have a 10-year parts, 10-year labor, and a 10-year maintenance program. The other 5 furnaces and 3 air conditioners will have a 10-year maintenance plan, where the contractor that we awarded the bid to will come in once a year, and he will go through the furnaces, and in the spring he'll come in and go through the air conditioning. And they will tune them up, they will check them over and make sure they're operating at their highest efficiency possible. Because the present heating systems and cooling systems we have now have not had a maintenance plan. The only time we bring anyone in is when there's been a problem. When they're broken, they can't work. They're operating very inefficiently, meaning we're using a lot more natural gas on the heating side, we're using a lot more electricity on the cooling side than we need to. So we, the trustees, felt it was important to have a maintenance plan and make sure these new furnaces and the existing ones that we're not changing are operating at their ultimate efficiency, so that we can have the lowest natural gas bill and the lowest electric bill and air conditioning that we can possibly have with what we're working with. So there's some rebates that come from Black Hills Energy. It'll be it'll be just a touch over $4,500 worth of rebates for the 7 heating systems. And they have a program. They've offered it now for a few years, and we're in hopes they offer it for at least another 10 years. What they have is, if your contractor is a certified contractor through the people that he buys his equipment, the installation of the equipment, and if he's certified through Black Hills Energy, If he comes in to do a maintenance plan once a year, Black Hills Energy will reimburse us up to $100 per heating system for that. The contractor fills out a small amount of paperwork. We, the church, fill out a small amount of paperwork, send it into Black Hills Energy. So we have the opportunity, as long as Black Hills Energy is offering it, to regain $1,200 a year just in the maintenance plan by having the furnaces and air conditioners maintenance. We send the paperwork in, they'll reimburse us. So that's a good program. We don't know how long that program will run. Black Hills Energy can change it yearly because their programs go year to year. Again, they've had it for a few years. We're hoping that they have it for several more. But we will take advantage of that program as long as it's offered. Is there anybody interested in knowing? I could go through and explain where all the furnaces and air conditioners are, where the boilers are. Does anybody want an explanation?
Which furnaces are you looking at replacing?
Okay, there's 2 furnaces behind the pastor's office and a small furnace for the office. Those 2 furnaces and 2 air conditioners heat half of the sanctuary. Then there's 2 furnaces down that hallway where some of those classrooms are, in the library, and the children's library. And then there's 2 furnaces in Fellowship Hall. So that's the 7 furnaces. The 2 furnaces back here by the north entrance are fairly new. They've had issues this winter also. And the air conditioners that are with these 2 newer furnaces are 40 years old also. But we've elected not to change them. The boilers down in the education unit, they're about 10 years old. We're not going to change those out. But we are going to have to change out the heat exchangers. And we got to do some fine tuning on them. The reason they have not been elected to be changed out is because once we get the new heat exchangers in and we get them set up on that maintenance plan where they get maintenance once a year, both the contractors that came in and bid felt we could get another 15 plus years out of the boilers. We asked them about the furnaces behind the pastor's office that you're referring to, Steve. And they said that they could go a few more years if we needed them to. But that was part of the package that they felt was necessary to get us back to where we need to go. Because we did have problems with them. One of those did not, that wasn't the one that got red tag, but they did have their issues this winter too. And so we felt that while we were doing this, that we needed to have some professional guidance by both of those contractors to give us the best recommendation, what needed to be changed and what didn't. And we was in hopes that they weren't having us change the equipment that didn't need to be. And so we did school them pretty hard. And we asked them a lot of questions. And at this point, we came up with the 7 furnaces and 5 air conditioners. We're going to leave these 2 furnaces back here because they're fairly new. They're probably, 10 years old? And then the air conditioners are 40 years old. We're in hopes that they keep going. If one of those air conditioners go out, because these 2 furnaces and 2 air conditioners back here also heat and cool the other part of the sanctuary. We wouldn't be able to fix those air conditioners because they have the old R22 refrigerant in it. And it cannot be purchased anymore, and the contractors cannot deal with it anymore. So if we have an air conditioning issue, the contractor we hired said that he could put an air conditioner underneath one of these newer furnaces, but at that point, we probably would not get the 10-year warranty, 10-year labor, and the maintenance plan. In order to do that through he and his manufacturers, they have to be matched sets. And so we have to make some decisions at that point. Do we want to keep it a matched set, or do we just want to put an air conditioner underneath a fairly new furnace and just not have it on the maintenance and warranty plan? That'll be a bridge we need to cross later on. The efficiencies of the units, they're going to be 96% efficient gas furnaces. they're going to have two-speed heat exchanger in them, meaning that it'll start out on a low speed, and after a period of time, if the thermostat isn't satisfied, it'll ramp up to the high speed. So you'll have basically a low and a high speed on the furnaces. The air conditioners are going to be 16 SEER two-speed compressors. The same way, the air conditioners will come on. After a period of time, if the thermostats aren't satisfied, they'll ramp up from low to high. The reason for the two-speed equipment is because of the size of the sanctuary, the size of Fellowship Hall. It's going to make them a lot more efficient. There'd be no reason to bring both furnaces on full bore on high speed in the winter. There's a lot of times no reason to bring both air conditioners on the high speed in the summertime. Makes them more efficient. They're going to use a little less energy that way. To maintain the 96% efficient furnaces and the 16 SEER on the air conditioning, that's where the yearly maintenance program comes to play. And that's why Black Hills Energy is willing to pay us up to $100 a unit, because they feel the same way, that if your furnaces and air conditioners are tuned up and are getting their maximum efficiency, it's good for us, it's good for our utility bill, and it's good for them as a utility. And it sounds kind of crazy that they're promoting to use less gas, but in the stage we're at now, both the electric industry and the gas industry, we're in a conservation mode. And if they can get their customers to conserve energy, they're saving money also. So if they save money, we the customers save money. Any other questions, comments?
Who is your contractor you're talking to? I'd like to know.
Comfort Tech. Comfort Tech's the one that got the bid. We had Ryan Wheatley from Wheatley Plumbing and Heating. He come and looked it all over, and he's the one that's been doing most of the work this winter to keep all of our furnaces and the boilers going.
Wheatley has or Comfort Tech?
Wheatley did. Ryan Wheatley came in, and he's the one that worked through us through the winter. We got a bid from him, and then we got a bid from Comfort Tech. And Comfort Tech had the better maintenance and warranty program, and they had the best price-wise for bid. And so we, the trustees, decided that for the dollar difference and the warranty and maintenance difference, that's who we needed to award the contract. Out the 7 furnaces and the 5 air conditioners, and what may be coming down the road someday with some future changes that may have to happen. We're approaching about $90,000 to get this project done. So that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But that's what it takes, and that is unfortunately why we're here talking to you guys today. Ryan is now going to represent the Finance Committee and kind of give us a little overview on what they've done to this point. Because we, the trustees, after we've made these decisions, we've taken it to the Finance Committee and says, here's what we're faced with. How are we going to accomplish this mission? So Ryan will talk about that.
So Jack's right, it is a large amount of money. It's $90,000 that we're looking at trying to raise in this capital campaign. We have a wonderful facility here. This place was back in 1971 when they made the plans for this building and for this unit to be added in here as a new church. They had lots of beauty that they thought into this, and they had foresight, and they thought about the future and where we're sitting here today. And so it has been, it's a building with a high value. It is in the, in the range of $3.5 to $4 million facility that this church owns. And so the $90,000 is to keep those facilities being a nice facility for our future. This is not necessarily just for us sitting here today. It is for our kids and for our younger members as we grow. So it is a lot of money. We can do this. It is many hands carry a light load. So with everyone giving, we can get this done. We set up another committee. We don't have enough committees, but we set up another committee. We have the Capital Campaign Committee, and we decided to name this the New Beginnings Capital Campaign. What it is we have a lot of things coming in this church. We are looking at new pastor, we're looking at new programming, we're looking at lots of things that will bring our church to where our goals are, what our mission and our vision is. And so that is where we're coming at with that. The campaign, we decided to make this as simple as possible for everyone, or as convenient as possible for everyone's gift. Some people like to do a one-time gift, like write the check, and that is wonderful. Those are the kinds of gifts that really get campaigns kicked off and rolling. Those are the kind of gifts that really will make the amount that we would possibly have to borrow or get on loan for this type of project. They really make that amount a much lower amount. So we should not have to have a loan for $90,000. We can have a loan for, who knows, it just depends on what we get. So that is one way of giving. Other people like to give monthly, or even weekly. And those types of pledges are wonderful. They are consistent, faithful. All of these gifts are in addition to your normal pledge. So keep that in mind, that your normal pledge is still your pledge. That's what keeps this whole facility going, keeps us going. It covers our missions and those things that we do within this church. This campaign is just for capital improvements. So efficiency improvements, and in this case, things that are going to cost us money if we don't make some changes, and it will cost us much more than $90,000. So, we're setting up many things that the church has already had what's called electronic fund transfer. Okay, it's EFT giving. There is probably 10 to 12 families that already give that way. It is a simple way that you set it up. It happens continually. Monthly, their gift is given. You could actually go through your bank and have a no-fee type of transfer. So those are called bill pay, I think is what some banks call it. It's bill pay or online payment or online giving. So those are ways that you can set that up through your own bank. We are also looking into a credit card type giving. We have many congregations around this nation that is a major portion of their giving comes from people who set up their gift as a monthly or a weekly type of gift, and they do it much like you would do your Netflix account. I mean, we have a $7.99 on our credit card each and every month. I don't think about it. It just happens. I want to give that, but I don't have to write a check. I don't have to be thinking. I can just have the convenience of it being done. So those types of programs have fees, and they're not steep, but they are still fees. So keep those in mind when you're setting up your gift. So we have the committee will have some brochures coming that will explain some more of these things, and we really need to come together as a church family. Pastor talked about family today, and this is our local family, and we can do this. This program will be set up over time. It is not something we have to do right away. We need to get it started right away. If we have a new pastor come into here, we do not want him distracted with a capital campaign. That's not his job. It is our job as a church family to do these types of things. And so we want to get this started. But we will have the ability to spread this payment out over longer periods of time. So if you feel like you cannot give $700, if you would rather give $20 a month, you can do that. That's still a way of giving and being faithful with your gift. So, any questions from anyone? Okay, so the efficiencies. The furnaces, like Jack said, they are 96% efficient. The 40-year-old ones that we are running are probably in that range of 65, if at best. So, we can be saving 30% on our gas bills. We can be saving some on our electric bills from the programmable thermostats and being able to, and the two-stage, like you mentioned, the two-stage fans and those types of things. So there's lots of efficiencies to be found. On a typical cold winter month, our gas bill could run upwards of $1,800 presently. So if you think of a 30% savings on that, you could be in that 360. Is that right? No, that'd be 20%. 30% would be more than that. 540. Thank you. He's also good at $540 a month for the 5 winter months. We got about $2,500 in gas savings through through these changes. So it is not that they're replacing furnaces for the sake of replacing furnaces. There is efficiencies that we will gather over long periods of time. So, did I do that okay on the efficiencies? Okay.
Mention the kickoff.
Thank you, Jan. We will have, next week is Easter. We're not being distracted. We hope to have brochures by then. It just depends on whether shipping comes through and everything. But over the month of April, 12th, 19th, and the 26th, we will have somebody from the campaign committee. Different members will be set up out here. So if you have specific questions, because this is something you process, you think about what you want to do. But on April 26th, we have what's called Camp Sunday. And Camp Sunday is when we have a member from the Okoboji camp come over and they will be talking with our kids. We are also going to make that our kickoff to this pledge. We would like to have as many pledges that day as possible. That is not our deadline for pledges, but it is where we would like to get the main push so that we can make plans. We need to know that the money is coming in order to make these plans. So, on April 26th, we will have worship. We will have pancake brunch going on right after worship. There will be the members from this campaign committee answering questions again, taking in pledge cards. We'll have pledge cards ready for you. And so it's kind of a kickoff for our new beginnings here. And we're also doing pie auction that Sunday, so there will be pie to be had as well. The pie auction is that the Methodist men are putting on. The pancakes is a free will offering. The Methodist men have decided to gift that toward this campaign. So any of the free will offering for the pancakes on April 26th will be toward this project. We will also have some silent auction items that as you're waiting in line to go to your pancakes, you can look at some of the different things that you may like to bid on. We're hoping there will be some women's gifts and men's gifts and those types of things that everyone can find something that maybe they would like. At this point, I don't know how many items there will be on that, but there will be some things to be looked at there too. So.
Shave the CD, right? Have you seen Chat?
Okay, Jack's got one. Thank you.
I have one more comment. If anyone here today didn't feel real comfortable to ask
Because
questions,
we're gonna take off. We gotta meet somebody.
please come and ask questions either to myself or anyone that's on the trustees committee. Because we really are trying to do what is best for this church. And we can only make decisions on what we know and what we're dealing with at the present time. So if somebody has questions, comments, concerns, a better idea, we're open ears. We're willing to listen to whatever. Because we want to do it right. So hopefully we are. And thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. And stay tuned as we'll be keeping more information. And Ryan and his group will have some pamphlets out. And as we, the trustees, if there's any changes, we'll try to keep the congregation posted the best we can. Any comments from any of the trustees or anybody on finance?
Jack, the only thing that $500 savings per month, if you look at the long picture, that could be a budget of $25,000 worth of savings for gas and electricity. So we're going to get that back, but we're not going to get it back right away. That'll be in the finance in your budget as a saving for the next 10 years.
Jack,
Yes.
I'd like the congregation to pray for this campaign, that it's successful, we get 90,000 that we need, and we all will find glory in that, and praise the Lord.
Thank you.